Hey, greetings, Muggle Travelers. Welcome to Traveling Guru, where every week we take an insider's look at travel and tourism. This week we are celebrating Harry Potter's 20th anniversary by uncovering the veil on 9 real-world Harry Potter locations you can visit in 2018. After all, what better way to indulge your Potter fantasies than by witnessing some of the actual places made famous by the films? Well, I'm your host, Dennis Foutz. So whether you travel by plane, broom, or floo powder, let's go. Our first stop is in London, England. 5 stops, to be exact. The first one is the London Zoo. In Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, Harry communicates with a Burmese python in the reptile house, later revealed to be due to his ability to speak Parseltongue, which becomes a fairly significant plot throughout the series. Well, you too can visit this reptile enclave at the London Zoo to see where it all began. While the snakes and reptiles that live there now might not be able for a chat as they were in the film, you can still enjoy this spectacular collection of the things that slither and crawl while you're in London. Then there's King's Crossing, perhaps one of the best known Harry Potter attractions. King's Cross Station has wholly embraced its literary significance, even adding a platform 9 3/4 and a trolley half pushed through the wall. Wizards to be, of course, ran through this barrier at London's King's Crossing to the Hogwarts Express. Muggles can't run through walls, unless they want to end up with a massive headache. Well, they can take the perfect photo op and shop in the nearby Potter store. And then there's Leadenhall Market, or is it called Diagon Alley? The ornate 19th century painted roof and cobbled floors of Leadenhall Market, located in this historic center of London's financial district, make it a rather magical place to do a bit of shopping, even before it played a starring role in the Harry Potter films. Well, this covered Victorian market, one of the oldest markets in London, was the location for several exterior shots of Diagon Alley, the cobblestone shopping hub of the wizarding world where Hogwarts students purchased school supplies like school books and wands. Today, if you wander down the market's Bull's Head Passage, you might recognize the blue door of an optic shop, an empty storefront at the time of shooting, as the entrance to the leaky cauldron in the Goblet of Fire. Then there's the Millennium Bridge in London. Well, if you're traveling to London, a stop by the Millennium Bridge is an obligatory pit stop for all Potter fans. In Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince, the bridge is torn to shreds by Death Eaters sent by well, you know who. In reality, the bridge still stands today as a monumental icon and the perfect suspension pathway from St. Peter's Cathedral to the Tate Modern. And then finally, you have the Piccadilly Circus in London. When Hermione apparates the trio from danger after the wedding in the Deathly Hallows film, they land in the hubbub of Piccadilly Circus and almost get run over by a bus in the process. After you get your fill of the Times Square-esque buildings, stop by the Criterion Theatre to watch some performances or pop into Waterstone's bookstore to find your next favorite literary series. Just outside London, we visit Oxford University. In the late medieval era, Duke Humfrey's library was an invaluable collection of books amassed by Sir Humfrey, the first Duke of Gloucester and brother of King Henry V. Today, it is the oldest reading room in what is now the world-famous library at Oxford University. It also doubles as another world-famous location, the library at Hogwarts, and more specifically the mysterious restricted section. In the Harry Potter films, Harry visits this off-limits part of the library under the invisibility cloak looking for clues about the Sorcerer's Stone. In this scene, the valuable ancient books are chained to the shelves to avoid thievery, just as they were for thousands of years in the real Duke Humfrey's library. Nowadays, the precious books, including some of the original books that have been in the library for centuries, are protected by a much more practical, but less Hogwarts, appropriate electronic alarm bell system. And then, the Great Hall in Christchurch. When it comes to Harry Potter, few sites are as iconic as the Hogwarts Great Hall. Luckily, this significant phenomenon is actually open to the public and can be seen on college visits. In the films, It's where young witches and wizards from each house congregate for meals and ceremonial events. Much like the students at Christ Church, an actual college at Oxford University, visitors can get an inside peek at the real thing during a visit to the college, provided there's no educational event going on, of course. Number 3. Seven Sisters Country Park. Well, in Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire, Harry and his crew take the portkey to the Quidditch World Cup, where they land on a cliff right near the stadium grounds. If you're interested in seeing the chalk rock face in the real world, head to the Seven Sisters Country Park in Seaford, just a 2-hour train ride from London. And although a magical transporting shoe might not be there, majestic views and an outstanding photo shoot are sure to follow. Number 4. Alnwick Castle. This iconic 1,000-year-old medieval castle in Britain is a favorite of the film industry, and its most famous role is as Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry in the first 2 Harry Potter films. It was on these castle grounds that Harry had his first Quidditch lesson, and the Weasleys' flying Ford Anglia crash landed on the first day of school. Aside from its time on the big screen, the magnificent castle also has a long and rich history. Located in the English Count of Northumberland, today it is home to the Duke of Northumberland and his family, and is the second largest inhabited castle in England, after Windsor Castle. In honor of its favorite fictional wizard student, the castle now hosts broomstick training throughout the summer months. Number 5. Glenfinnan Viaduct. Every year, Harry and his chums eagerly make their way to Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry. The Glenfinnan Viaduct in Scotland is the prominent bridge and train line that Hogwarts Express tracks along to get them there. The surrounding countryside makes for some magnificent hiking opportunities, and you can even take a ride on the Jacobite, the real steam train Potter used that runs along the western coast of Scotland. It gives travelers a gorgeous view of the Scottish countryside and makes you feel like, well, you're riding in the Hogwarts Express in real life. Number 6. Loch Shiel. Several bodies of water stand in for the Black Lake surrounding Hogwarts, but one of the most significant is Loch Shiel in Scotland. Flanked by thick boreal forest and whitewater rivers, the lake is quintessential. There's plenty to explore in the crystal clear shallows, including wildlife, trout and salmon, and underwater moss meadows. You can even take a cruise along the water to recreate the Durmstrang's arrival to the Tri-Wizard Tournament in Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. But be sure not to disturb the merfolk in the murky depths below. Number 7. Glencoe and Glen Nevis, Scotland. Glencoe is the illustrious Glen in Scotland that was featured in Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. Hagrid's hut and several other film sets were set to the striking landscape, which offered up a spectacular backdrop to the adventures taking place on screen. You can also trek 30 minutes further down to find Glen Nevis, a similar mountain valley. You'll know it for being where Harry battles a Hungarian horntail during the Tri-Wizard Tournament, and as the setting for Quidditch matches throughout the series. Number 8. Malham, North Yorkshire, England. Malham Cove is the result of the monumental forces of nature. The 80-meter tall, 300-meter wide Carboniferous limestone cliff was once the site of a torrential cataract, whose voluminous flow eroded the lip of the fall more rapidly than the sides, creating the notable curved shape of the rock formation seen today, topped by a heavily eroded, craggy limestone pavement that has been likened to a moonscape. In Harry Potter and Deathly Hallows Part 1, Harry and Hermione travel to this otherworldly landscape while hunting for Horcruxes. They set up a camp in a magical tent on the limestone pavement at the top of the Malham Cove. Make sure you set up your magical tent there and enjoy the beautiful scenery. Number 9. Black Park Country Park. Well, thrill seekers and adrenaline junkies can witness Harry Potter's Forbidden Forest spring to life at the Black Park in Iver, England. Steeped in history, full of character and jeweled with green spaces, the forested corner has all the right ingredients for a short break. Whether you're looking to embrace the great outdoors, soak up some Potter heritage, or revel in its mysterious atmosphere, I just hope the spiders won't come in larger-than-life form.
Well, Muggle Travelers, I hope you've enjoyed our 9 inspiring and magical destinations. While you're waiting for your Hogwarts acceptance, you can always visit each of these destinations and get a head start on your classmates. As a full-service travel provider, I'd love to help you check out these magical spots and start planning your epic Harry Potter adventure today. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to my YouTube channel for more travel insights around the world. Bye-bye.